All right. Hey, long time no see. Hope you guys are doing good. The book that I'm going to talk about today is a beautiful one. It's been a very difficult read nonetheless. It was recently recommended by Bill Gates as part of his reading list, and I very strongly believe that it can be a life-changing read. It's an astonishingly well-written memoir, which is not just fitting for the times that we live in right now, but has also personally helped me a lot in releasing this pent-up frustration that I've held myself to over the recent past. So it's 1944, and a 16-year-old ballerina is sent to Auschwitz along with her sister and her parents. She inadvertently sends her mother to her death and watches her go up in flames. She doesn't even get to say goodbye to her father and ends up dancing for the infamous Dr. Mengele. She's eventually pulled out from amongst a bunch of dead bodies, presumed to be dead, and she not just survives but lives to tell the tale and goes back to Auschwitz decades later, now a trained and eminent psychologist, to find closure. For to not forgive is to hold oneself hostage to the past. The book that I'm talking about is called The Choice, Embrace the Possible, and it's by Dr. Edith Eger. What happened, quote, what happened can never be forgotten and never be changed. But over time, I learned I can choose how I can respond to the past. I can be miserable or I can be hopeful. I can be depressed or I can be happy. We always have that choice. I am here, this is now, unquote. So it's such an incredibly uplifting book. The only other book I remember crying for was Book Thief. If you're looking at making peace with yourself and understanding what is happening currently in the world around us, do yourself a favor and get yourself a copy of this. Quote, the truth is we will have unpleasant experiences in our life. We will make mistakes. We won't always get what we want, and this is part of being human. The problem and the foundation of our persistent suffering is the belief that discomfort, mistakes, disappointment signal something about our self-worth. The belief that unpleasant things in our life is all that we deserve. I thought that was so deep and true, something you might want to think about. In the first section of the book, Dr. Edith talks about her childhood, her dreams of making to the Olympics team at ballet, and her juvenile love, her first love, one that probably let her stay afloat through all the depression that she went through later. She watches everything she has known in her life as a child growing up disappear almost overnight when her family and herself are taken to Auschwitz. But she's resilient, right? And she says to be passive is to let others decide for you. To be aggressive is to decide for others. And to be assertive is to decide for yourself. And to trust that there is enough and that you are enough. So she survives as she lives for her sister that accompanies her, drawing strength from each other even as they struggle and cope through the period that they spend in Auschwitz. And as she moves to the second part, Dr. Edith has physically gotten away from Auschwitz. Someone has actually saved her from Auschwitz. But even as she marries and moves to US and has kids, she continues to fight the battles in her head. The narrative kind of comes a complete circle when she finally finds herself back to where it all started, to exercise the ghosts of her own. She quotes Carl Rogers, someone she considers a mentor. When we come to believe that there's no other way to be loved and to be genuine, we risk denying our true nature. And she says self-acceptance is the hardest part of healing. In conclusion, in the last section, Dr. Edith now is an eminent psychologist. She talks about her patients and their cases and how they struggle with self-acceptance. In guilt, she still tries to overcome this fact that she did not lie when she was asked in the selection line if the lady next to her was her mother or her sister. By speaking the truth, she inadvertently sent her to death, and a fact that continues to haunt her. As she narrated the story of the couple who lost their teen son and asked themselves this what if questions, should I have done this? Could I have done this in order to save their son? She found resonance in this feeling, and I think I personally found resonance in that feeling as well, that I've been trying to look away from, with the hope that maybe if I don't think long enough about it, it might go away. The fact that I constantly question my decisions that might have probably saved my dad, or even given me a chance to say goodbye. When we don't give ourselves a chance to grieve, we are doomed to constantly relive them. So it's also a fitting reminder of the times we live in. Edith wonders as she passes a group of young men, has my generation taught the youth well to prevent another Holocaust, she asks, from recurring? Or will our hard-earned freedom capsize into a new sea of hate? Something that we kind of need to think about, like even as we see the things that happen around us. She says, find the bigot in you. Find the bigot in you. Find the part in you that is judging and assigning labels and diminishing another humanity. Make others less than who they are. Find that bigot in you and try not to do that. So in conclusion, we all have a choice. The choice to accept myself as I am, human and imperfect. I have the choice to be responsible for my own happiness. I can't ever change the past, but there is a life I can save, and it is mine. The one that I'm living right now. And in conclusion, I'd probably like to leave you guys with this quote. She says, time doesn't heal. It's what you do with time that makes a difference. Healing is possible when we choose to take responsibility, when we choose to take risks, and finally, when we choose to release the wound to let go of the past or the grief. I hope this has been useful to you guys. Please, if there's one book you want to read this year, please pick this up. Yeah, thank you.